Good afternoon, class. My name is Kiel Kellems, and this speech will cover the topic of intercultural communication and ways that I believe I can become better at this. Culture, as we all know, is one of the most basic and complex environmental constructs that I think humans have ever created for ourselves. It influences basically every aspect of our everyday life, from the clothes we choose to put on in the morning to the music that we listen to on the way to school or work. Uh, it even influences the food that we choose to buy and prepare for our friends, family, and ourselves. And it influences our values. Culture determines what we find important in our daily lives. It determines who we are, what we believe in. I think learning to communicate with other cultures like this is not going to be an instant thing. You're not going to be able to wake up one morning and say, I can instantly communicate with somebody from another culture, no problems, nothing. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. We're going to have to practice at it to get better. Um, we've got to be aware that there's some major intercultural differences that can cause culture clash and conflict. Things like the way women are treated in some cultures or the expectations of men in other cultures. And this causes barriers because some of these things can be something that we disagree with at our core. Um, so we have to work to understand this, to work to overcome these. We have to practice. I think one of the ways I can be as prepared as possible is to follow the guidelines that were set out to us in our reading this past week. I can learn about other cultures through observing people from different parts of the world, studying the history of different nations. I really enjoy learning what happened in the nation's past, what happened in its past to shape the way that its culture is viewed today. Um, I can also ensure that I work daily to ignore stereotypes and prejudices that I may have. I know in the past I've allowed personal stereotypes to get in the way of getting to know people. It's not something I'm very proud of, but it is something that I take ownership of that I work every day to be better at. To get to know the individual as opposed to any preconceived notion that I may have about who they are based on where they come from. Another thing I can do is to put myself in their shoes, show some empathy. I know it can't be easy for a foreign person to be in a foreign land without knowing any of the language, any of the culture, any of the people. Not being able to communicate, it can be scary. I remember being about 8 years old. My family took a trip to the Bahamas, and my father was a sign painter at the time, and he wanted to take my brother and I into town, away from the tourist area of the island, so that he could compare and contrast his sign work to that of some of the locals of the Bahamas. And I remember having to ride on the bus, so we were at the back of the bus, and some of the locals would be getting onto the bus, and they would take a look back and see the white father with his two white sons sitting at the back of the bus, and instantly not want to sit by us just based off of any prejudices they might have had. So I can definitely understand where other people are coming from, and it can be easy. I think one of the biggest problems we face is that of language barriers. Comprehending what somebody is trying to tell us. Um, I know that I have difficulty understanding sharp accents. Somebody can be speaking perfect English, and I have a hard time understanding what they're telling me because I can't comprehend the accent that they're using. And so I think that's something that I need to be better at, is learning to understand what somebody's telling me and hearing the words and not the sound that they make. The internet opened the world to tons of different cultures. You can jump on Google and search for one nation, and you can have the entire nation's background, and you can learn about their culture right there from the comfort of your living room. Technology has opened up travel to many different parts of the world in the past years. We are able to jump on a plane and we can travel farther than we have been able to in the past. And we can go to more places, and I think that's awesome, and that's going to really help us be able to learn and interact with other cultures. I know that if I plan to visit anywhere, one of the first things I always do is I'll attempt to learn some of the basic elements of the culture in the area that I'm going to, whether it's to another country or if it's to another region of the United States, because I think we all know that there's vast differences in culture from West Coast to East Coast, from northern states to southern states. And I think being able to understand this and being able to study this and practice some of the different things of these cultures, I think we'll all be able to be better intercultural communicators. And I know that these are some of the things that I need to practice on, and I hope that my classmates are able uh, to take some of the lessons that we've learned to become better interpersonal communicators as well. Thank you.